Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my brand new Iron Man Rune Master. We titled this build Iron Man because you shoot lightning webs out of your chest. Very fast, very fun. As always, I will cover every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now the skills we are using are Lightning Blast, Flame Rush, Flame Ward, Static, and Runic Invocation. And again, this is Iron Man because when I come out of Flame Rush, you will see that I shoot lightning webs out of my chest. That's what it's actually called. It is Lightning Web. And you will be triggering this through Flame Rush, and you will be manually triggering it so you can use it all the time. We have set up Flame Ward so it is automated, which means when you get stunned, it will trigger, and you will have 2 charges of it. I have also set up Static, where it is basically a nuclear bomb. Now, when you hit Static, though, just know it is going to eat 200 mana. So don't put yourself at negative mana, but the tooltip for Static is close to 1 million. It hits like an absolute nuke. And this build is extremely fast. It clears all content. Very strong. Right now we're at 300 corruption, actually over 300 corruption. And it can go much, much higher than that if you invested time in gear and just going through the motions of building up corruption. Very fun. If you like lightning, I think you're really going to enjoy this build. I think this is my 3rd or 4th iteration of Iron Man, and I made lots of little tweaks and changes that you will notice if you have played other versions, but I think it's in a really, really good spot. Let me show you single target. Come here, Shade of Oribus. Now, when you are attacking, you're going to be building ward because we are using Twisted Heart, and you have a decent amount of sustain and regen, so you'll actually get that life back fairly quick as long as you are attacking. This is a Shade of Oribus fight, corruption 300, and you want to be in melee range-ish when it is safe so that you are getting that guaranteed crit from your Lightning Blast that is triggering back to you. I just used my nuke, brought him down to 15%, and this Shade of Oribus is almost down. 8, 4, good night. Ooh. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills, starting with our first skill, Flame Ward, and I will show you the order in which you want to take the skill. Now for this one, you want to come to the left here and grab this rune, Frost Ward. Now we do not care about cold damage or really anything cold for this build, but that being said, in order to make Lightning Web and shoot it out of your chest, you do need a cold rune, so we are going to get that from Flame Ward. You're then going to come over here and you're going to take less hit damage and less elemental damage. So this is going to give you a ton of survivability, and then we're going to automate this skill. So we're going to come up and take this node right here, which means you never have to worry about hitting this unless you really, really need to. But basically when you die in Last Epoch, it's normally because you're stunned. And this node right here, when you are stunned, it'll auto trigger and you will have 2 charges of that. So it's a little trick that basically you never have to worry about this skill. It is automated, which is really nice. Moving over to Static. Now Static is pretty easy. All you want to do is just work your way around the skill and go this direction. And the last 3 points go into high voltage. Now this is going to give you a ton of damage. The tooltip for this when it is fully empowered is almost 1 million damage. And that is because of this node right here, Power Surge. Now know that when you hit Power Surge, it is going to eat 200 mana when it is fully boosted. It will be like hitting a nuke, but be ready for that mana, okay? And you can always just pull this point out and put it right here and then use Static more often. But basically at the end of a run, I hit Static and the boss dies. Moving over to Lightning Blast. Now, first thing you want to do is come up and to the left, and you want to grab this node, Closed Circuit, which basically means when you hit an enemy in close range, the Lightning Blast comes back and hits you, and then you get a buff from that. You then want to come down right here and get Lightning Attunement, which is going to grant you Lightning Aegis. You're then going to come up here and get your double cast and your quad cast, and then you're going to work your way around and you're going to buff your Spark Charge. All right. Now I did put a point right here into innate just because sometimes I go negative mana because I use Static. So it just means that you could still stay in the fight and attack enemies. Moving over to your movement skill, Flame Rush. First thing you want to do is come straight down and grab this node right here, which basically allows you to use your lightning web when you come out of your flame rush. So you flame rush, you lightning web, flame rush, lightning web. You saw it in the gameplay. Very, very simple. You're then going to come here and turn this into a lightning skill. And then you're going to work your way around and get all of your DR. The last points that we have are 6. We put it into speed and range, and then just put it into damage. These 3 points you don't really need, so you could throw them anywhere. I just put them there. Last skill, Runic Invocation. Now, what you want to do for Runic Invocation is you want to come down first, and you want to snag this node. This makes immutable order, makes it where you have your skills on the bar is the order of the runes that you will have. So you do need Flame Rush, Flame Ward, Static right there as your first 3 skills in order to make Lightning Web. You're then going to come over, 4 into Rune Scribing. You're going to come over here and grab Word of Lagon, which is going to buff your crit chance and give you damage. And then your last 5 points, you're going to come up here and just get some multiplicative damage on your Lightning Web. Those are the skills. So now let's break down the passive points in the base tree. We took Scholar for just health and mana, Arcanist for intelligence and resistances, and Mage Flurry for some attack speed. Very, very basic. I used to win heavily into Critical Strike Multiplier, but we don't need crit chance because we're basically a guaranteed crit right now. Moving over to Rune Master. We put 8 into Sphere of Protection to give us some DR with this build. Absolutely love this node. And then we went heavy into Unsealed Mana, Arcane Focus, and Transcendence, which does give you a decent amount of ward for this build and survivability. The final 5 points that I put in was actually for Cataclysm that just gives us some multiplicative damage for when enemies are at low life to just help us finish them off. 8 into Never Late, great node. 3 into Rune of Dilation, which is going to give you movement speed and cast speed. 6 into Inscribed Instruments. We are using a wand, so you're going to get a 72% crit strike multiplier required. We went 8 into Ancient Inscriptions, which gives us cooldown recovery speed per intelligence. To give us more survivability, I did take Endurance and Mana. This nodes are based upon where your endurance is with your gear. 1 point into Rude Word Hurricane, and 4 into Jagged Veil. Other than that, the other 25 points we have in Sorcerer. We are maxing out our Arcane Momentum, which is going to give us attack speed and spell damage. 5 into Calculated Destruction, 2 into Sarah, and 5 into Rift Bolt. Now, Rift Bolt's going to give you a ton of lightning penetration and leech. Again, another form of sustain. Moving over to Last Epoch Tools, where we're going to break down the blessings, idols, and gear, starting with blessings. Now, what you want is Spell Leech. This is like the #1 blessing you want to hunt for. It is going to give you so much sustain. You are attacking so fast, and obviously you're using spell damage, that this is going to really help keep your life in the positive. We then have All Resistance, Endurance, Physical Resistance, and Lightning Shred. And this is the blessing that you're going to get the Lagon, which is also going to give you a big boost to your damage. Moving over to idols, there's literally only one you want, and it is this. Increase lightning damage when you have Lightning Aegis, increase lightning damage. This effect is doubled if you have over 300 mana, and you will see right here that we are currently sitting at 325. And you will get a lot of, you're talking over 150% damage on each idol. It's a very big deal. And then your little idols, you just fill it in with resistances you need, mana, health. It really doesn't matter. Okay, moving over to gear. For this build, there's currently nothing that is required, which means the build does not work if you don't find this item. That being said, an Enigma, so this offhand catalyst, very easy to find. If you're in Merchant's Guild, you can get them with legendary potential for free. Is the best in slot when it comes to catalyst because it's going to supercharge your spark charges. Also for survivability, we are using a Twisted Heart, and we have a lot of leech in this build. So there's a couple things you can do. Again, you want this blessing, and then in our passives, you get more leech right here. So you have lightning leech of 1/5. If you get a good rolled blessing, you can get 1/5. You're up to 5 now, 5%. And then if you really need it, you could also take a Tyrant's Crown, which will give you up to another 3% leech, which is putting you around 8%. So you're going to be getting tons of ward because you have so much sustain. But either way, you do want to use a Twisted Heart for this build. But again, it is not required. Okay, I'll go through each item one at a time. Lightning Blast skill, life. Oracle Amulet, Crit Strike Multiplier. Chest, Crit Strike Multiplier for lightning, intelligence, life. Belt, mana regen, lightning, life. Rings, intelligence, lightning damage. Boots, intelligence, hybrid health. Gloves, cast speed, intelligence. And weapon, cast speed, crit multiplier, lightning penetration. That is the gear, idols, and blessings. Last but not least, let's talk leveling. Aaron, this is great, but how do I get it from level 1 to end game? I will show you. Now, the two main skills you want are Teleport and Elemental Nova. Now, Teleport does something very cool. It has these 3 nodes right here, which basically makes it that when you use your Teleport, it makes 3 Elemental Novas. So not only are you moving through the campaign super fast, but you are also killing enemies. And you have 2 options: Fire with Fireball or Lightning Blast. It doesn't matter, you can pick which one is your favorite. Now, if you take Fireball, you will want to come down right here and turn your Elemental Nova into a Fire Nova. And if you pick Lightning, you want to come over here and turn it into a Lightning Nova. So it will determine which way you take your Elemental Nova, but it will not change your Teleport. You still want to get these 3 nodes right there, and it's really up to you. That is how you will fly through the campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new and improved Iron Man? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I can do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe if you think I've earned it. If I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Patreon is the best way to support. It is the first link in the description. We have movie night coming up, game night coming up, access to exclusive content, VIP lounge. Check out the Patreon. Lastly, if you have not joined my Discord yet, you should. We're approaching 4,000 members. Just for being a member of the community, we draw a giveaway every 2 weeks. You just join the Discord and click the little arrow. The next giveaway is a custom action RPG hat of your choosing. We have a community event coming up with Dwarven Realms on Friday for season 24. We have another community event coming up for cycle 2 of Last Epoch on July 9th. Great place to hang out. Lots of awesome people, voice channels. We try to cover all things action RPG. I'm done. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.